Alright. Hail everyone, I'm KoH-simison, the Knight of Humor. And I'm not looking forward to this at all. I don't wanna. Actually, let me make sure it's nice and close. So you can hear my screams at every decibel level. As I said before, I'm trying to finish this game. I don't want to. What the? Hey. What was that for? Okay. Well, that was odd. This is awful. This is terrible. I don't want to be here. Okay, so I had to think about this because I didn't want to waste 20 minutes just to come to this decision. And the problem is, it's like, you know, democracies get really ugly when both sides pretty much disagree with each other on everything, but it's like, it's clearly one side isn't dominant, and so all you get is this strife. Because if you have a decision made by democracy, and it's like, say it's 70-30, well, it's obvious there's a winning side. Or it's 60-40. Okay, it's kind of more awkward, but yeah, there's clearly an advantage. But if you have a democracy that decides something 51 to 49%, it's really intense, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's nothing but insanity and murder. And I was here, because as I was, not sure how much I discussed last time, Yuri really applies to the intellectual side of me. Sayori really applies to the loyalty side of me. There's history with one, there's intelligence with another, they're both good looking. I decided that we can't use this opportunity. Basically, I'm gonna go with what the poetry has been leading. I've said more Yuri, we're gonna go with Yuri for this playthrough, and I am utterly terrified what that's going to bring. So, Sayori, you'll always be my dearest friend. What you need most is for things to be like they've always been. Monika told me the truth. She told me how much happier you seemed after I joined the club. I know you're struggling with some really difficult feelings right now, but please trust me that I know what's best, and what will make you happy at the end. Oh my gosh, you don't say that sort of thing. Oh, why would you say that? Go, you're an idiot. I promise I'll help get things back to the way they were. I see. Oh. I mean, great. One right decision followed by several really bad decisions. Sayori forces a smile through an incredibly pained expression. Is this what it feels like to get stabbed in the chest? No, getting stabbed in the chest is pretty bad. I should write a poem about this. Sayori. It's okay. This is just my punishment. Remember? For being so selfish. So please don't worry about these stupid feelings. I know you're right. I knew this whole time that there's no happiness down that path. That's why I came here. Just so I can get the answer I need to hear. And the other thing. You're also right that I just wanted to go back to the way it was. Don't lie to me! There's... Lie. I realize that now. You really do know me better than anyone, Ko. No, he doesn't. He does not know better. He missed it in the first place. I'll trust you with anything. Anything at all. So, is her life on that list? You want to live? Sayori's smile finally breaks. All of a sudden, she turns around and drops to her knees. Ah! Clutching her head with both hands, she screams as loudly as she can. I'm so shocked that I don't know how to react. Make sure she doesn't have a knife on her. Sayori looks over her shoulder and flashes me one more weak smile before turning around and running off. Sayori! I'm left helplessly standing in front of my house. Why am I feeling so horrible about this? There's nothing more that I could have done. The most I can do is support Sayori through her feelings and help her on the path that's right. Get her to counseling! But I'm having as much trouble understanding Sayori's feelings as she is. Yeah, saying you know what is right for her doesn't quite line up right now, does it? Even though I can comfort her, I keep wondering if I should be doing something more, or something different.
Counseling!
I know these thoughts will continue to plague me until things are back to the way they were.
They're never going back the way they are.
I'm going to give it everything I've got.
It's not going to matter.
Sayori will always be my dearest friend.
If you want her to live, get her to therapy.
And I'll do whatever it takes to put a smile on her face every day.
Get therapy.
It's the day of the festival. Nobody's dead. Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori. But Sayori isn't answering her phone. I considered going to her house to wake her up, but I decided that's a little too much.
You should have gone.
Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. The batter and urine that I painted is dry, and I gently rolled it up to take it with me. She sent me a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Yuri at the festival. But knowing Monika, I'm sure the event will be great too. I don't know what to... Oh, there. That one.
KoH! You're the first one here. Thanks for being early.
That's funny. I thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monika's placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. They must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monika would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing.
I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you.
Yeah, she overslept again. That dummy. You'd think that on days this important, she'd try a little harder.
Oh my gosh, she just told you she had depression.
I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday, and I suddenly feel awful knowing it's not nearly that simple for her.
Good recovery.
I only said it because it's the way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all?
Mm-hmm. You should take a little responsibility for her, KoH. Huh? I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday.
What?
You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know?
Exchange? Monika, you know about that?
Of course I do. I'm the club president, after all.
How do you know that? But... I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? About how I basically turned down her confession? That makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her. Right? Jeez. You don't know the full story at all, so...
Don't worry. I probably know a lot more than you think.
Yeah? Monika is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that.
Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? You should. I don't trust anything she's touched. They came out really nice.
Yeah, sure. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid out on the desk. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously.
Read! Yeah, I thought so too.
I flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognized Natsuki's and Yuri's poem from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different from the one she practiced. It's one that I haven't read before.
Oh.
Well, I've read them all, so... Get out of my head, 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 get out of my head. Get out of my head, 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 get out of my head before I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But the poem is never actually finished. It just stops moving.
Why didn't we check on Sayori?
What is this? Read through the poem. I get a pit in my stomach. KoH?
What's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing?
Nothing? This poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori has written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori, so... well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? You might want to call the ambulance. I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. The heck you giving me a sing-song tone there, lady? Monika calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. Sprint. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. It's not a big deal to at least wait for her or help her wake up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they always have been. That's all she needs, and what I want to give her. I reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer, since she's not picking up her phone either. Like yesterday, I open the door and let myself in. Where are the parents? Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house. Isn't that more like something a boyfriend would do? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy. There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter a room like this. Isn't it kind of a breach of privacy? Move! But she really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. Okay. What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this could be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday, I told Sayori I would be there for her. I told her I know what's best and that everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Turn down her confession? That has to have been what pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and gave her what I know she wanted out of our relationship, then I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I can do to bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset, try something different. I had only one chance, and I wasn't careful enough. And now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. But I still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I could never take it back. Never. 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 Never.
The heck kind of is this, guy?
It's not over yet. That's all I got to say.
We doing some Undertale crap here? I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's gonna chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let her catch up to me.
It's an ordinary day, school day like any other.
Was this avoidable?
Okay. I don't feel nearly as bad now. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. KoH? Monika? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monika is probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing around the budget and publicity about how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Ugh. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. Not counting yourself, right? It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature could be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature, too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. Besides, a member's a member, right? Did manga say she? Hey, KoH, by any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but... In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, however could I refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Awesome! You're really sweet, KoH. You know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go, then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. I feel like I'm walking into another trap. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. Don't do that! I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs. A section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. What? Okay, I'm back. And I brought a guest with me. A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy. Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, KoH. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. How long am I going to be trapped in this? So, let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with this sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Oh, she's totally gonna die, isn't she? Is she? Do people die here? The game is breaking on me. Her small figure makes her think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual, and this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet the both of you. So I ran into KoH in the classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? How do I escape? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, KoH? Wait, is KoH going insane? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner and opens his closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Oh, stay away! Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. They make school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know? I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, KoH, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, thought you should ask. Considering how little I've read these past 2 years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I murmured quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that could change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. You don't say! Psychology? Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination and completely throw you for a loop? Like breaking the fourth wall? Whoever wrote this game? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Have you now? I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, you might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. That was a lot of foreshadowing there. I hate horror. Oh, you're going to die, aren't you? Am I allowed to save anyone? Oh, why's that? Well, I just... Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And get that back. Fine, fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Ah, not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have that writing experience, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. But I guess that's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. Is it murder? How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. You don't have Sayori for additional weight. Well, I think you're right, Monika. Wait, what? You've changed. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. Wait. Oh crap, Sayori was the original vice president, wasn't she? So, I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now we have a new member. It seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Ko? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. It's not how your closest friend just disappeared on you. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and... I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. I'm sorry, I thought. They all shrink. The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Ko. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. Maybe I've got words with you, woman. If we don't find one more member before the festival. I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. Besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. It is until the death starts, which I don't get it. If I'm caught in this loop where I have to go restart every time somebody dies, we're not even gonna have a club after the next round. Unless you can change the rules on me. So, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girl's eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Ko? Yeah. Because apparently this is purgatory. It could be fun. Right? I feel a disturbance in the force. I hope that's a new follower. Oh gosh, it takes so long. Oh yeah. Thank you, Big Yuri. Hello. You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you just left after this, I would be super pissed. Ko, I'm so happy. I'm not. Or correction, I'm not. Ko is fine. Hello there, Big Yuri. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'm not amazing. He's not amazing enough to save a girl. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Could you involve less murder? Alright, duly noted. Big Yuri. Thanks. I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring it to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Ko, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? It doesn't matter, Ko. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and, of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances. I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You've unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Sure! Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but most people who try to commit suicide, they experience deep regret during the attempt. A lot of people start an attempt, immediately regret it, and if they're lucky, something went, they didn't plan it right, they didn't take every step, and they'll survive. Okay. This is going to be very simple. Oh, really? Maybe not as simple as I thought. Just stay negative. I'm not feeling that good at all, actually. I feel like that, actually. Yeah, just go all negative. Why are your poems so dark, Ko? I wonder why! It's all fun and games until the first person dies. Vertigo. Extreme. Tenacious, because I'm still here. The poetry has become easier. Hi again, Ko. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha 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 ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. She was flashing Sayori's face, wasn't she? Can you just twist that knife a little bit more? Thanks for keeping your promise, Ko. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Okay. How do I... Okay. When I started this, I always knew there was a horror element here. My question is... Okay. I've already failed my golden objective, and that's to get everyone out alive. So we're pulling back to the next line. If that was diamond status, gold status is get everybody else out alive. I don't actually expect that to happen. Silver status will be getting Yuri out alive. And then... Bronze is just getting myself out of here alive. Getting Ko out of here alive. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Yuri had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Whoa, I think, is that intentional or not? I think I'm gonna lean toward intentional. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Monika. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Ah, dang it, I couldn't read it! Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plots back down into her seat. I'm sorry, Ko. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? I'd be more comfortable if people would stop dying! Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. You're a lot stronger. That's a weird thought. Does the girl you choose slowly absorb the other attributes of the others? I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, because I can't, at this point, I can't tell what is in-universe and what is out-universe. I can't tell what is me, as in KoH, is being affected, as opposed to what me, the player sim, is being affected. It makes it very confusing and complex. Now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. Ooh, if you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. Is there murder? It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she sees me on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I muttered this, since I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... And that's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. Is that what's happening to me? Alright, we're 40 minutes into the stream. Just about. It's time for a water break. 30-second commercial break for you. Water break for me. Be right back. Helps the channel. See you soon. Okay. Break was a little longer than I expected, but anyway, we're back. Right. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. Wow. That's what you gave me? I think she gave me that in the first... cycle? The book, I mean. Now that I think about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Huh. We talk about the book or the video game? Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Ko? No, it's not that. I might be. But I'm Morisaki, now aren't I? I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. What are you pulling me into, Ko? I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. Oh my gosh, there's so much meta commentary going on right now. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. And suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. At least you're not breaking the fourth wall intentionally. I haven't lost interest or anything. I would have left. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly what? I'm going to save, because I feel... You killed my save? Well, screw you. I'm putting in the second slot anyway. I kind of forgot to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah? Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with somebody. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in... Dagnabbit! I can actually read pretty fast. My upper limit is like top speed. If I'm really shoving myself, I can read 100 pages an hour. So unfortunately that means I can read just kind of fast enough to keep up with it. I think it just said I was bathing in your body fluids? Blood? Oh dear. I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. Teamwork! That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it with her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Eh? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Said I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it float over to her side as she catches it with her own thumb. Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses it, things she says, and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Maybe I should keep reading. Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hand on her chest to feel... as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Ko? Did something happen just now?
Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. Do you worry about anyone? I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other?
Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd start without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
Great. Let's start with the one I'm really suspicious of. No, I'm not sure I like her. Okay, now I'm stuck. Instead of having two good options, I have two bad options. Maybe if I'm closer to her, I can figure out what the heck's going on. Maybe the farther away I am from Natsuki, the safer she'll be. So I have one of each. I have Yuri, who I'm romancing. I have Natsuki, who I'm distancing as much as I can. I'm going for Monika because I need intel. I start with Monika. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi, Ko. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Ko. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it isn't that sort of barrier that we all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I had Monika my poem.
Great job, Ko. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though.
You don't? But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more than glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monika. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. You see, it's the same title as her first poem, but it's a different poem. Hole in wall, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking, or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks in my ear. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Is she after me? Is she a yandere? So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you want to call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Better not be KoH! Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. After murdering somebody? It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that. Because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Okay, now that I've escaped you. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say something out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hit me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a deep breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time. Really? Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant... ah! Little zinger there. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick it up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they... Okay, so, I already did this. I did this for Undertale. Any dialogue I was forced to repeat, I just sped through it. I kind of want to do that here. The thing is, I don't ever know when I'm going to get zapped with something really weird. So, I am going to start doing a little skip. But I'm gonna... Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for something new. Okay, I think. Of course, that's not something you could be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them. Yeah, I read this. It takes some time, but... Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or not. Nope, I've read that too. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which is, itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost Under the Light. Again, it's the same title. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Is that the same? It's been 2 weeks. I can't remember. I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read the script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Yeah? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Hoo. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Ko. Really? I must have totally missed that point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feeling... Yeah, check. Yeah. No, I think she said that before. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Ko. Me too. Yeah, she said that last time too. What? Harsh. I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put out an effort. That was new. Maybe she's harsher than usual. Or is it the more negative? That's right, because the first couple times I got a lot of Natsuki, even though I didn't want to. If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. It's very similar to the first poem. In fact, I don't even know if it's any different. Yeah, I told you you weren't going to like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all... This is pretty simple. Yeah, check. In fact, no. I can't remember. Did any of the glitches happen during these reactions? Yeah, wordplay, rhymes. Yeah. She claims to be a pro. Yep, humoring her. Phew. I guess that's everyone. No. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems get sent up to theirs. The music shifted, I think. Not entirely sure. Hold on. How long have we been on that one spot? What the? No, 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 no. Ah! Meep. Welcome. Yeah, we lost Sayori. Something happened. What the? Okay. Okay, I don't know if it was the game. I've never had this happen to me. The game froze? The stream froze. What? How is this even possible? The game and the stream froze, but my game is fine. I'm very far ahead in that point. How much time have I lost? That was the T. That was before the reaction. Oh gosh. Okay. I didn't catch that either for the longest time. Oh. I just joined the literature club. Ooh. Alright, that's bad. I didn't even see that coming. I don't think I've ever had that issue before. Alright, I'm gonna try. Gosh, that's a lot of streaming lost. Alright, all I can do now is try to pick it up from where I am. Go forward, I guess. Dang it, because I can't get my own reactions. Well, my own reactions don't really matter. I guess I have to do a summary. Basically had a moment with Yuri. We started reading the same book together. That book was dark. Alright. So, that's the recap. That's what happened. Yuri walked out. We started sharing poetry. I'm still suspicious of Monika. There's still glitches happening. Mostly around Monika, isn't it? Alright. Yeah. I just saw a second mouse fly over. So what I'm gonna do at this point, after that summary, is I'm gonna stop the stream, I'm gonna restart it. Because I think something broke, I don't know. Alright, see you in 3, 2, 1.